What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. I know this review is late, like way late, but this is We're Here Season 2, Episode 1. But I really enjoyed this show last year, and I enjoyed reviewing this show last year. And even though I'm a little late getting these reviews out, I really want to talk about what I see, because the show does so much. It really does so much for you, and I just wanted to do it. So it's late, but it's here. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm sorry that, delayed. But last season, we left off with, they abruptly had to stop filming because of, the panty. And they were in Spartanburg, Pennsylvania. Spartanburg, South Carolina. They were not in Pennsylvania. They were in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And they started filming, so they had actually met the people that they were going to be paired with and all of that prior to having to shut down filming. And so we're picking up with them going back. We get the whole what we've been doing with the pandemic and all that whole thing. But they also kind of gave us a flashback into the people that they were working with. And for those who've never seen We're Here, you don't understand how it works. So we have Bob the Drag Queen, Shangela, and Eureka, all former RuPaul Drag Race participants on the show. And they get paired up. They go into a city, small town USA, and they get paired up with somebody who is connected in some way to the LGBTQIA community. And they put them in drag, and they go through this whole process of learning who they are, understanding what's going on with them, and putting them in drag. And all of them have different reasons for getting into drag, for whatever they have going on in their life, right? So we've met Faith, Olin, and Noah. Now, Faith was paired with Bob the Drag Queen. Now, what we learn about Faith is she identifies as a lesbian, okay? And she is a tattoo artist. And she's actually the first, this is what she said, the first Black or African American licensed tattoo artist in the state of South Carolina or in her county. I don't want to say it wrong. But she was the first. And, she talked about her art, and she talked about being in a male-dominated industry as far as being a tattoo artist. And she said that she does feel like she was sort of the black sheep of the family. And that her parents weren't really crazy about, one, about her being gay, and two, about her being a tattoo artist. She said, but it did sort of change up a little bit when her mom, she said people would come up to her mom and say, oh, Faith did this tattoo for me, or your Faith is so talented, or Faith is such a great tattoo artist. And she said that sort of, gave her mother a little bit of, puffing out my chest a little bit. And, so that's what we met her prior to. Now, Noah, we met Noah prior to the panty, and that he was paired with Eureka. I'm sorry. Well, at the time he identified as he. But I wrote in my notes, because this is not to be disrespectful, I wrote in my note that he was a little confused because he said that because of the town that they lived in, because of Spartanburg, he was scared and nervous about really being who he really was and felt comfortable being, dressing the way he wanted to dress. And he said he was more gender fluid. And Eureka, we know that Eureka identifies as gender fluid as well. Gender fluid. And I did not know that Eureka's pronouns were they. Or, they say you could just call them Eureka, or they said you could even call them by their real name. They said what their legal name is. And so, but Noah said that he's just not comfortable dressing the way he wants to dress and living in his truth, right? Just being who he really wanted to be. He's just not comfortable with that. And Eureka was like, listen, live your life, live your best life. Like, I get it, I understand. It's hard, it's not easy, but you just gotta live your best life. You gotta be true to who you are and be in it and live in it, Eureka actually took him to a thrift store so he could try on some, and I keep saying he because it changes, but at this point his pronoun was still he. And he had a whole breakdown at the thrift shop because he said that he doesn't look the way he wants to look because they were trying on dresses and he doesn't look the way he wants to look. You know, his legs don't look very feminine and they're too muscular. And, you know, they had a whole moment. It was really, really, really touching. You know, I could respect the fact that the cameras didn't, we could hear him talking, but they didn't show him actually like breaking down and crying, right? So yeah. So there was that. Okay. Then we met Olin. Now Olin is a farmer. We saw Olin out there on his equipment, honey, working on his farm. Olin is, you know, by all accounts, a good old country boy. You know what I'm saying? But Olin, he said he's doing this for his brother. And we found out that his brother is actually a drag queen called Patio Furniture, which I thought was hilarious. That's his drag name. And he said that, you know, growing up, the kids would always ask him, you know, is your brother gay? Is your brother gay? And he was like, nah, he's not gay. That's just him. Like, that's just how he is. He said, and I'm the last person that my brother actually came out to. And so I really want to understand. Like, I really want to understand. And so that's why he's doing it. He's doing it for his brother. And I said, I mean, you can't do anything but respect that. You can't do anything but respect that. And we saw with Shangela, he's paired with Shangela. We saw with Shangela went and met the family. The father was there, and the father, you know, Pat does a lot of charity events, and, you know, he performs, I think, every week. And the father was saying how he had never been to any of Patio Furniture's performances. And you could tell there was a little uneasy, awkward quietness in the room. When that was stated. Now, the brother, Olin, has said he's been to a couple of his events, you know, that he's been to a couple of things. And, and Faith is also a plus size model. I forgot. Faith is a plus size model, honey. She's doing it, okay? She's a good old BBW, honey. We together, girl. I know you, you know me, we know each other, okay? And so we got a chance to see who they were prior to the panty, right? And then we come back in 2021. And let's see where they are now. Noah is now they. Noah is fully embracing their gender fluid identity. When we met Noah, Noah had on a whole dress, but they still had facial hair, but was walking down the street with a purse and a dress, living loud and proud. And they explained that it was almost like coming out a second time. And they said it was, you know, you come out the first time, hey, I'm gay. But then when it's, listen, but this is also who I am, they talked about how hard that was. But we also found out that Noah has Noah is Nadia. Non-binary is the proper term, I believe. Non-binary. So if I was saying it wrong, please don't cuss me out in the comments, please. Non-binary. I wrote it in my notes, so I'm saying it correct now. And Nadia is a beautiful Black woman. And I feel like they're a couple because Nadia said something to the effect of one day marrying Noah. Or Noah said one day marrying Nadia, but when it was said, the other person didn't balk at it. But Noah said that Nadia is absolutely who they credit with getting them to a place where they're comfortable and living in their truth and being who they really are. And so, again, you can't do anything but respect that, right? So Noah said that they are absolutely ready and looking forward to it, and they are ready to get into the whole drag of it all, okay? We come back, it's 13 months later, actually. We come back, and Faith is now in a relationship. She met her girlfriend during the pandemic. Oh, wait a minute. Her name was Shakisha, I think. I think her girlfriend's name is Shakisha. And she said she's just in a really, really good space, that the pandemic really helped her to just slow down and see things and really process through what she needs to process through. And then the relationship, she said it's the first time that she's really, you know, been able to take her time through a relationship. And you know what's funny? I've heard so many people say that they met people during the pandemic, but because of limitations and everything that was going on, it really helped them process their way through it. And they were doing a relationship different than they ever had before because they kind of were forced to. I thought that was really interesting. And then Olin, 13 months later, Olin is still down, but Olin almost said, I mean, not almost, but he said to Shangela when he said, I didn't think y'all were coming back. He said, and I was going to use that as my excuse not to do it because I really didn't think y'all were going to come back. And he said, well, is this what you want to do? Like, are you still sure you want to do this? And he was like, yeah. He said, but I'm really nervous about my son. He said, I don't want people, he said, I can kind of handle it, but I don't want people to make fun of my son for what I'm doing. You know, it is very public. It's, you know, because it's downtown and it's outdoors because of the party, they can't really do it in a club. And so it's outside of downtown. And he said, you know, I'm just worried about any backlash on my son. And I feel like Olin would probably whoop somebody's ass. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's what Olin would do. So I hope there was no backlash because I feel like you would have to deal with Olin. And I actually feel like Patio would get you. Listen, people be sleeping just because somebody is gay. Like they got hands. I just feel like if you come for his nephew because of him, I feel like you might have something to look for too. That's just my 2 cents. Anyway, so they, like I said, so they're all this is who I'm tongue tied. So then we see them getting ready to get in drag. Of course, you know, they gotta get used to the high heels and, you know, get used to, you know, being sucked and tucked and, you know, the facial makeup. And Olin had to shave his beard off and, you know, and they asked him, are you gonna be sad about shaving your beard? He was like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, go ahead. Handle it, you know. And he even started getting into it a little bit when they were trying on the wigs. You could see how. Let me say this about Olin. And again, last year I was so shocked because people who were on the show actually commented under my video, and I don't expect it because this was so long. But if Olin ever somehow somebody shows him this, Olin, I am so proud of you. The fact that I could see how uncomfortable you were throughout this whole process. But the fact that you said, I am doing this for my brother and I'm doing this to show other people that, listen, you know, love is love and we're not going to just tolerate. We're going to embrace. Like, I was so here for what Olin did. I was so here for it because you could just see, you know, how uncomfortable he was, you know. But but everybody we saw them practicing and getting their dancing in and all that good stuff. And, you know, Shangela had said something to Olin's son about you ready to see your dad on stage. And Olin was like, yeah, nah, he's not coming. Like, I think he's still a little young. And I noticed that we didn't see the grandpa, the daddy, in this moment. And I was like, oh, Lord, please don't tell me we lost grandpa during the panty. Like, please, please, please. But that was my first thoughts. I hate to say it, but that was my first thoughts, right? We saw when Bob sat down with Faith's family, her mom and her sisters. And it always, and I know we don't mean any harm by it, but it always makes me cringe when I hear people say, well, I just wish that they were normal. And what her mom said was, because they were talking about the Bible Belt and the fact that they're, you know, they deep in the Bible Belt and everything. And the mom was saying how, well, I just thought it was a phase. And, you know, I thought in a couple of months she'd go back to being normal. And it made me cringe when she said that. And again, you could see the looks from Faith and Bob and, you know, Shaniqua, I believe is the girlfriend's name. And, you know, you could see the looks because, of course, that mindset is, what is normal? But I don't think the mom meant any harm by it, you know? But even the point of, I thought it was just a phase in a couple of months, you know, she'd be back to normal. It just lets you know that the mom was still somewhere, you know, in that space or whatever. So we get to the performance, and I would say out of the 3 performances, my favorite performance out of the 3 was probably Faith's, because Faith told a story that was so beautiful, and we're going to get to that in a second. But I think the most heartfelt one that was probably Olin's. And that's no disrespect to you, Noah. No disrespect at all. Faith's story, she came out as a budding flower, and Bob was Eureka. First of all, okay, let me rewind. Eureka was the host. I know they rotate hosts. So Eureka was the host of this one, and Eureka came out and performed, and she actually performed with her drag family because Eureka is actually from, she said, a town about 45 minutes from Spartanburg, and she said she used to perform in that area, and she was very familiar with the area, and so she met up with her drag family, her drag mother, and some of her drag family, and they actually came out and performed with her. And I thought that was really, really nice and really sweet. Again, it goes back to just that dynamic of family. Your drag family is always your family. They always got your back. So I thought that was absolutely sweet. But anyway, so Faith came out in this, she was a rosebud, and Bob flowered her, and as the rose opened up, she blossomed and bloomed, came into her own. And then there was a part where Shanika came up on stage and they danced, and it was so beautiful. Like, the story was so beautiful, and they performed to, the song was oh shoot, I wrote it down. Make you feel my love. To make you feel my love. I feel like that was an Adele song, but I don't think Adele was the original singer of the song. And they didn't do the Adele version, but it was that song. Y'all know the song I'm talking about. Okay. So it was beautiful though. It was really, really, really heartfelt and really, really touching. Now, Noah was giving us very superhero, fierce kind of thing, and Noah was feeling it, okay? From the very beginning, there was no hesitation. I feel like Noah had truly, truly, truly come into their own at this point, and Noah was feeling it. Like, Noah was giving it to you, and them thigh-high boots with the 6-inch heel, honey, and all kinds of stuff. Noah was feeling it. Noah was there. Olin, Eureka, and Patio Furniture performed Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves, the Eurythmics and Aretha Franklin song, and baby, they did that. Now, did Olin hit all of the choreography? Hell no. Did Olin get all of the lyrics? Hell no. But baby, Olin was giving it all he got. It was heartfelt. It was 100%. He was on board. It wasn't, I said Eureka child. It wasn't Eureka, it was Shangela. But Olin was 100% there, baby. 100% there. And I was here for all of it. I was here for it. So once again, y'all, We're Here is probably one of the best shows on TV, especially when you want to start talking about tolerance and understanding and coming together and finding a common ground. If you can't find common ground at a drag show, I don't know what to tell you. And guess who was at the show? Olin and Patio Furniture's daddy. Now, remember, he said he had never been to none of Patio Furniture's drag shows, and he'd been doing drag for years. But Granddaddy was there, and I was so happy to see Granddaddy. Well, I say daddy / Granddaddy. I was so happy to see him because, like I said, when they didn't show him and they didn't bring him up, it had been 13 months, had been the whole panty. I was a little nervous, but it was so good to see him, and it was so good to see him there at the show. And Patty said that he said he was going to have to get up the next day after crack of dawn and go watch his nephew at the baseball game. He said, if they can come here and do this with me, I can go watch sports. And he was so disgusted. I can go watch sports. Like, he said it like, I guess I can go watch some sports. So anyway, that is what it was, you guys. And again, it was the first episode. I know we 7 episodes in. I'm going to get the rest of them out as fast as possible, child. As fast as possible. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.